Let's see, Jordan, my favorite prank so far, I'll go back to last season on an episode called High Top Fade Out, where we had Jaleel White on the show, who is an old friend of Dulay's. And first you have to know that Dulay is obsessed with food and eating and not having anyone else touch his food, almost as if he spent most of his life in prison and only recently was released. But he has these peanut butter and jelly sandwiches every day, delivered to him with the crust cut off, neatly wrapped in plastic. And Jaleel, it was sitting on his chair, and he was shooting, and Jaleel knows this about Dulay, so he unwrapped the sandwich and took a huge, like Sasquatch-sized bite out of the sandwich, and then wrapped it up back neatly wrapped and put it back on the chair, knowing that Dulay would freak out in a fairly real way. And Kenan Thompson, who was one of the other guest stars on the episode, and I just sort of sat back and enjoyed the fallout, which lasted a good hour of Dulay, like, fairly seriously searching for who had taken a bite out of his sandwich. And, like, if he found out, it wasn't going to be pretty for that person. And finally, it came out that it was Jaleel. And it was pretty fun. It was pretty fun for all of us. And I think Jaleel made out with the sandwich as well. Natasha, or Natasha, because you could be Russian. Listen, your question is about Red Dog Squadron. Thank you for knowing about Red Dog Squadron. We do have a show coming up. We will be producing something in the winter, probably right after the new year, at the beginning of January. It'll be in Los Angeles. It'll be a play that's never been on the West Coast before, and I'm very excited about it. And because it's not completely finalized yet, I don't want to say what it is, but it looks good. It looks like it's pretty close to being done, and we can all look forward to a new Red Dog Squadron production in January. And by all, I mean all of us, because there are people clamoring in faraway countries for another piece of theater from the RDS. Thank you, Natasha and Natasha, for your question. Alan, you were wondering what my favorite 80s movies are. Real Genius, not just one of my favorite 80s movies, but possibly my favorite movie of all time. An American Werewolf in London, Some Kind of Wonderful, Summer School. I'm keeping it fun and light. I'm not going to go into some of the darker stuff. All of the Friday the 13th films that were released in that decade, which I think is 2 through 7. Aliens. Come on, man. The first time you saw Aliens, look, I don't know how old you are, but if you're even close to my age, thinking back to the first time you saw Aliens, getting your ass rocked by that movie, what? Terminator. How's that? Is that acceptable? Lindsay, if Sean could go undercover anywhere, and I'm speaking for Sean, not myself, because we are actually not the same person. He's something of an alter ego. I think he would probably want to go undercover in the world of porn. And your first thought is probably like, oh my gosh, that's so gross, but why would he? And it wouldn't be because of the obvious reasons. I think he would be more interested in the counterculture and what he could gain from it as a man. Just being on those sets, being around those people, getting into the sort of meta of it all. Like, how can you do this for a living? Like, what happened to you as a child? Like, what's happening to you now? Like, why were you drawn to this industry? How much longer do you actually think I can keep this up? That kind of stuff, I think, would be fun for Sean and Gus. I don't know if Dulay was asked that question, but if he said anything other than porn, he's lying.
An all-new season of Psych premieres Wednesday, July 14th, only on USA. Characters welcome.